start by adding a layer of white in your sky area. Once that is done, then take a small amount of red and begin to blend it with the white. A pink will appear. Make sure you're using horizontal, so side to side brush strokes. If you want the pink to be a little darker, then add a little more red. If you would like it to be lighter, then you can always use less red or even add a tad bit of white on top. You're going to blend about halfway down the canvas. Once that is done, then you will take some yellow and begin to repeat the same process that you did with the red. The two colors will meet right in the center, and you will start to notice that the orange will fill and form. If you would like it lighter, add white. If you would like it to be a little more yellow, then of course add more yellow. The blending and mixing of the colors is totally and completely up to you. You can see that my white has slightly dried on this edge, so I just added a little bit of white and yellow and begin to make it blend together. Again, the sky, the painting, the whole thing is really yours, so if you want to change your color palette, please feel free to do that. Now that I am finished with the sky, I'm going to begin the area that I'm referring to as the mountains. Add a layer of white down at the bottom, then a touch of black. If you would like your gray to appear darker, add more black. If you want your gray lighter, then add more white. Remember, this is really up to you. You're in control of those colors and how they blend and mix together. It's fun to see how everyone's picture is different no matter what they do. Everyone will be slightly different. If you cover up part of the cactus, don't worry, you'll be able to paint it back later. Once you're done with the mountains, we're going to begin with the largest cactus. So you're going to put a layer of green on that cactus. Try to paint in the direction vertical, so that means tall up and down. And literally you're just going to cover the whole thing in green to begin with. I'm using the square brush because it works, again, a little bit better for these larger areas. If you get outside the lines a little bit, don't worry about it. It'll be okay. Now that the green is completely covered, I am going to take some blue. So I'm going to clean my brush well, and I'm going to dab that extra water. I'm going to put lines of blue. I know this sounds odd, but they're going to blend with the green and give it a really nice blue-green effect, which cactuses typically have more than just that plain green color. I'm going to continue with this until I start to blend the color together. So continue to blend that blue and that green until you get the color that you desire. Do not forget to do the smaller parts of the cactus off to each side. Remember that you are going to add a little green if it seems to be dry and continue to blend those colors. Now you're going to work on making the shadow for your cactus. If you notice that things are a little too dry, then yes, add some green. Then you're going to get some black on your brush and begin to mix the black to create your shadow. So you're blending that black with that blue and that green. Make sure it's a small amount. We don't want to just throw the whole thing into black. We want to add a little bit at a time. Don't forget to do the arms of your cactus. Each one of those should have a shadow, and all of your shadows should be on the same side. Like my shadows are on the left side, so I'm making sure that I am consistent with that all the way through the entire cactus that I am doing. Now that you're done with your large cactus, you're ready to work on the smaller oval cactus. Add your layer of white, over the top. Then you're going to start to blend with green. So you're making a lighter shade of green. Yes, you can mix some blue in with it as well, just like you did with the larger cactus, but again, you just had that layer of white to help to soften this color. So you have a nice contrast between the two. Kind of go along with the edge or the shape of the cactus itself. You want to kind of have it bend around. So you're doing nice brush strokes around as it fills in. If you want more green to show, then do that, or more blue. You can see how you add the smaller pieces coming off or the build up. It is simply a curve line. I like to think of like a letter C, okay? And then I just go back in and I fill that and add more layer of the color. So I, again, think of a curve, letter C. It's a backward C on this side, which is perfectly fine. Okay, you can also think of it like an oval that is building off. It's okay if it goes off of the paper. That makes it look more realistic, and you can continue to build on and go kind of up as high as you would like it to go. You can blend the colors how you would like, the blue, the green, and the white. Adding more green and more blue is a personal and your choice. You can see how not all of my sections of cactus are the exact same color. Things blend together. As I get closer to being finished painting this part, I work from the furthest oval shape, and then I work my way down so the color will end up blending together. I want a little more of a shadow effect on mine, and you can see how I'm blending that with black. I am not overthinking it, but again, I use a little bit of black, and I'm smoothing out where those smaller pieces of the cactus are actually attaching. And I blend, and it'll take just a little while to do this part. Now I'm going to start with the smaller plant at the bottom. I'm going to do triangle kind of lines. There's a little bit of a curve to them. I'm not over picky about where I am doing those. Okay, I'm going to fill back in with some yellow to add a little more vibrance to this actual green. And I just continue to blend and fill that new yellow-green color that's on top of it. Each leaf, okay, there is no exact right or wrong to it, but I want to make sure that it is painted and covered enough where I can't see that gray that's underneath. Now, if you do have difficulty with this while you are actually at paint night, you can feel free to come up and I can help guide you with these exact shapes. I'm going to go in and I'm going to add a little shadow to one side of my leaf. Again, same concept. I'm going to stick to one side, having a little bit of black to it, and let that blend together. Once I blend the color, then I'm just going to make sure that it is filled in as much as I want. Now that I have gotten all of that done, I'm going to add a little darker color in that corner area, which again, that is a personal choice, okay? And you can see how I'm kind of blending with the green as well. Now that I have finished with my leaves with the green, I'm going to add a little bit of texture using yellow. Now I did add a little tiny bit of white to this yellow to have it stand out. I'm just making little dots going along the edge. I, again, clean my brush, and I'm going to start to make the little tiny lines, the little spikes, the hurdy pointy parts on the cactus all over. So it's a tiny little gentle line. The most important thing is don't push down hard, and you're going to cover the whole entire cactus with that. And you're only doing that on that oval cactus. You're not doing it on the others. So again, personal choice, kind of how and how many, really up to you. Now I've cleaned my brush and I'm ready to start adding in the flowers, the final step. So I'm using yellow for the largest cactus, and I've just added some yellow onto my brush and then make small little lines like I did with those spikes on that other cactus. If I want to change the color, I can absolutely do that. You can see how I'm mixing and making more of a pink color, and you have room to do that on your plate. So I just go through small little lines where I want the actual flowers to be. There is no real right or wrong. If you would prefer to have all pink flowers on both cactuses, yes, you absolutely can do this. If you want to do purple flowers instead of the pink, then you would just mix the red and the blue together, maybe add a little white to help it stand out, and you can continue to add more details with that. Remember, this is your painting. You're really going to get to make those decisions on how your flowers look. I hope you enjoy paint night, and I can't wait to see how it looks in the end.